starting with your career, it shows elements constantly of adventurism. Are you a serious person?
Yes, I am a serious person. But I also have a streak of black humor, you could say, which allows me to survive my seriousness.
You said this is your quote, "It started to get too interesting. It's an intoxicating combination, civic outrage and the thrill of chasing a big story." And that element has carried you through all your jobs, all the work that you've been doing.
I became a journalist because there was nothing else that I could do. I just had the skill, perhaps, of communication.
So journalism is a job for people who can't do anything else.
I was primarily at heart a novelist. So I wrote,
I
my first novel.
At the age of 24, Crack in the Mirror.
Yeah,
and then
I wrote my first novel before I became a journalist.
Yes.
So I took my journalism because that was the closest way I could support my writing.
Bunker 13 was your second one, for which Aniruddha got the Bad Sex Prize, and which he was actually delighted with, because there are other authors like Salman Rushdie who refused it. But will you read a bit from your Bad Sex? Here we are. The passage that Aniruddha Bahal won the Bad Sex Prize for.
She's topping up your engine oil for the cross country coming up. Your RPM is hitting a high. I'm not too much of a good rider, actually. To wait any longer would be to lose prime time. She picks up a Bugatti's momentum. You want her more at a Volkswagen steady trot, squeezing the maximum mileage out of your gallon of gas. But she's eating up the road with all cylinders blazing.
You're insane. So, and the funny part was that you actually enjoyed getting this prize. You said you went to London, met all your friends, met Sting, who gave you the award.
I'm not stuck up about, it was a good opportunity to meet Sting, and it was a good opportunity to go and connect with everybody. I mean, there were a lot of authors who sort of take it as an insult, but I never took it as that. Now,
you also said the spy cams were fangs. This is your kind of language, your kind of written. Spy cams were fangs. We supplied the venom. We showed you could take on systems of governance. Now, as you know, I researched you and the Tehelka Operation West End quite thoroughly when I wrote my book. Wasn't there an element of just plain fun? I mean, I did criticize you in your book that at one point you became like cowboys. You got carried away with the fun of it, of catching all these people, and you forgot the seriousness of it.
No, we didn't actually, for the simple reason that no story has survived has got the kind of scrutiny as this story has had post-independent India. No journalist in India has been grilled for 2 months by 60 lawyers on the stand for a particular story, and the story held up.
But then
the story held up in all its seriousness.
But Aniruddha, the criticism that many people have, and I would have given you the same advice then, was to completely ignore the commission. Completely, that we've done our story, you go figure. Because what they did, they succeeded in turning the attention on
into an inquisition.
Yeah, into Tehelka instead of the people who were accused.
That was, you see, the Commission of Inquiry Act.
You fell into a trap.
We fell into a trap, and also they created such an atmosphere that if you didn't participate, as if you had something to hide. So there was an element, as if there was a transparency. That's right. So it is not that easy a call for us to have taken then to say not to participate in that. It was, fault was the clause D of the commission, which was basically turned the focus not on what the story was telling you, but on the people who had done the story.
That was a very clever clause.
That's right.
To investigate the sources of
the media platform.
To investigate that and to allow that
to happen.
For the journalistic community to have allowed that clause, and many senior lawyers and constitutional experts wrote against it.
That's right. I remember Nurani wrote column after column on that.
But it didn't do much, which goes to show that you can write whatever you like sometimes and it makes no difference. Tell us about the story when they came to arrest you and you went live on Aaj Tak.
This was at Malviya Nagar, and they arrested me, and I had my mobile phone with me, and I immediately called up Uday, who was then heading Aaj Tak. Uday Shankar, and Uday immediately put the phone on live in the studio, and I started describing my arrest, about how they were taking me in the jeep, etc., and what had happened. And I think that was perhaps the first and only case of somebody going live while being arrested. But to the credit of the Delhi police who came and arrested me, they didn't try to stop.
Did they know exactly what was happening?
Yeah, they were knowing because I was having conversation in front of them.
But they also accused you
But
of...
perhaps they didn't know it was going live. They thought that I was just having a conversation.
Yeah. I'm sure they didn't know it was going live.
Yeah.
Come on. But you were also accused at that time of pushing and beating them up.
No, that was a false accusation.
You know, the reputation was that when you used to come into the Tehelka commission, everyone used to say, the lawyers used to tell me that Tarun arrives with all these pretty girls and Aniruddha arrives with goons.
That's not true. I mean, if the
beat
system
up
in
someone,
charge, if some reporters or some others used to accompany me.
But at a party at Tarun's house on Holi, when you were in the middle of putting together the transcripts and the DVDs of the Tehelka thing, you went to his house and a Holi party was going on.
It was at 5 o'clock in the evening.
And you didn't have the keys to the office. And you went there to get the keys because you wanted to get on with your work. And somebody over there, you told them you're not playing because you're going to work, and somebody put color on you and you thrashed him.
Something of that nature did happen.
I see.
But that was, I mean, the circumstances perhaps were a little too...
you were tense.
We were tense, and I mean, you would look back and say that it was an avoidable incident, but then you have to also look at the fact that of people playing Holi and throwing colors at you at 5 o'clock in the evening.
When the Tehelka investigation came out in public, Matthew Samuel disappeared.
No, he didn't disappear. He was already in Kerala.
You sent him to Kerala because he was shooting his mouth off.
No, I didn't send him to Kerala. He had health problems. He had gone for some Ayurvedic treatment.
Okay.
So he was already in Kerala, and we had to advance our story for a few days because some people had come to know about the Tehelka office, so we had no option but to go with the story for our own protection.
Yeah. Jain got
That's right. And so we advanced the story by maybe a week or 10 days or more, and Matthew was supposed to come before the story, but he couldn't because we suddenly advanced the date.
But he was talking a lot, and
that was post the story.
That
was post.
And then you told him to shut up.
Yeah, he started having a press conference in Trivandrum, and then we said that it's avoided. You shouldn't be doing that. There should be one voice on the story.
But then that became a problem because Tarun, who did no investigating, credit to him that he created a platform for you to do it, but he did nothing to do with this thing in actual operations. But because he's so good at press conferences and becoming the voice of Tehelka, he took the brand of Tehelka and ran with it. You were pretty much left in the air.
Well, you could say that, but then you could also say that I did allow him to do that, because I generally felt at that time that the CEO of the company has to speak for the company, and there's a logic in that. And you can't have suddenly the company acquired a big public profile, and with a big public profile you have to speak in a unified voice. I mean, you have to speak in one voice.
But he became the face of this sting operation, although he didn't do anything at all.
But such things happen, and
the CBI found an email that you had sent to him complaining about this.
Yeah, there was a story like that.
And so you did write the email complaining to him that who did the story, and you're getting all the credit.
It was not so much about credit, but about the fact that...
Stop. You're behaving like a politician now.
No, I'm not behaving like a politician.
Yes, you are. You're fluffing it over. There was a natural resentment that you guys did the story.
No, I was more complaining about the fact that there should be a we tone in conversation, not a I tone. So Tarun's conversation subconsciously developed along the like
I.
The personal pronoun I, so which is what was the complaint. I said that it should be more we than I.
But he really did become the face of this thing when you went into the background.
That's right.
And in fact, Matthew Samuel, who did 90% of the tapes, not only went into the background, he just disappeared.
Yeah, I guess it's to do with his own sort of nature as well.
Would you say that means that in this climate, people who can market themselves are really the successful ones, not the ones with the substance?
Well, hasn't that been a fact of life since the beginning?
No, not really. Because very often in, say, 30 years ago, you had the substance, you did not need to market yourself, and people respected you and heard you because of your substance. Now, unless you have the combination of marketing yourself, things overtake you, which is what happened with you.
You look at news television now, and news television right now gives such a prominence to anchors who have no ABC about journalism.
Yeah.
And so it is that same thing. Yeah. So they all come, actually, I go to these media institutes sometimes for some lectures, and I like to go there and interact with students, and I'm absolutely amazed and saddened by the fact that all of them are drawn by the glamour of journalism and they want to be anchors, but they don't understand journalism at all. the nitty-gritty of it, the
work,
passion that you get in, the who's and why's and the how's and the when's and the where's and the W's of journalism. They're not bothered about that. It's just that they want to be famous, and they believe that riches follow those who are famous.